Good evening, everyone. So, we are back today with some basics of Form 16. It's tax season, and you all would have received Form 16. So, let's try and understand some basics related to that. So, if you are a salaried person, you would have received your Form 16 by now or must be about to receive it. This document is issued by the employers every year, and it is very important to understand the details given in this form because a good understanding of this will help you to file your IT return very easily. So, if there is any tax deducted on your salary, then your Form 16 will be in two parts, Part A and Part B. This is how Part A typically looks like. It is issued through traces only when there is a tax deduction on the salary income. Part A will contain details like employer, employee name, the PAN of the employee, the TAN of the employer, challan details of the TDS deposited. It also has details of the income that you have earned during the year, the TDS deducted on it, and then eventually deposited. In case you have worked in more than one company, you can expect to receive more than one Form 16 in that year. And if you are receiving Part A, you will invariably receive Part B. So moving on to Part B, this is what approximately Part B will look like. It is always issued to the recipients of Part A, but for the people on whose salary income there is no tax in the financial year, you may or may not receive this. So part B will have details like the income which is chargeable to salary, any other income that you've declared, for example, income from house, property, etc. And all these incomes add up and form the gross salary. The next thing that you will see would be deductions under Chapter 6A, or what we commonly refer to as some sections like 80C, 80E, 80G, etc., which is up to a maximum of 1.5 lakhs. Over and above 1.5 lakhs, these days you have few other items that you can claim as deduction from your gross salary. They are the interest on housing loan, any medical insurance premium that you have paid, and recently the additional 50,000 has been also added to NPS scheme, which is over and above this 1.5 lakhs. So aggregate of whatever investments you have made, when it is reduced from the gross salary, that will become your taxable income. Once you have taxable income, there would be a tax liability that is calculated on it based on which tax slab you fall in. If your employer has deposited any tax, then that amount would automatically populate in your e-tax filing, and it would be reduced from your total tax liability. So net tax amount can be either nil if you don't if you fall in the exempt area of the tax slab. There could be some tax payable, or there could be a refund also. Further, you can also receive a tax rebate under 87A against the tax liability if your overall income, taxable income, does not exceed 5 lakh rupees. There are a few points that we should note. First one being, if there is no tax deduction on your salary, like I explained when I started Part B also, it is up to the discretion of your employer to issue Part B to you. In absence of which, you can ask for a yearly salary projection that will give you enough details to file your tax return. So, yes, even if you have no tax deduction, it is always advisable to file a zero tax return. Now, there are a few confusions around what is a deduction and what is a rebate. Deduction means the amount that is reduced from your income before the taxable income is arrived at. However, rebate means an exemption from the tax amount itself. The example is Section 87A that we referred to in the previous slide. A salaried individual in India needs to file ITR1 or the Sahaj form, and the details that your employer has filed in the TDS return will auto populate in your e-filing login. But So I hope this information was helpful to you. Happy tax filing. Till next time, keep learning. Thank you. Bye bye.